If the last few days were about navigating the chaos of individual intuition, today's transit demands a radical shift. Today I will explain you. Expansion now doesn't come from the volume of your voice or your insight, but from the technical precision and testing of your aesthetic. So get down with the stylistic and try not spending too much money on that. So we start with this an 8 sun, A1 sun, and a 40.1 earth. We're gonna go as last time, starting from the 41 earth, because this is also our first domicile, you know? So we go over it. Called monies and everything. This is a gate of energy, of sacral energy as fuel, as resources. And this gate is a line of foundation, it's a first line. This first line defines the essential condition of the 14 gate. It is possessing great energy and resources to drive and empower direction, and the vulnerability of not inherently knowing where the energy should go, because this is our first line. It's the first line of our process. It's not simply about money and wealth, but about life force, power, capacity to fuel movement, creation, and direction. Its self-expression is understanding that power must serve higher principles, using that energy, those cash, it's carefully and intentionally recognizing that true success comes from aligning with the correct direction rather than wasting it. Its shadow is believing energy, money alone can solve problems. That's why it's called money isn't everything. Giving away power to others in hopes they will provide direction, investing in energy into paths, people, or goals that are ultimately incorrect. So there's this central tension between having enormous power and energy and not knowing where it should go. So this is where we start. This is our struggle this week. It's going to be using our fuel properly and not wasting it. And you notice the A1 here in detriment, but let's get to our little A1 in detriment. That little A1 in detriment is honesty. This is the fear that conforming through an aesthetic to a specific type of contribution, it's going to dissolve our true selves, our true authentic expression. It's detrimented. So this is a time of withdrawing from the collective out of fear of losing individuality. So this tension here is, how do I contribute to others without becoming trapped by them? This week is all about, and especially those 3 days, it's all about forming our aesthetic, our contribution, in order to express that socialization of this Venus. We're gonna get into it. So, you know, Pluto 41.4, so fixed fantasies, same fantasies of the last week, is converted into this body. So we will try making our fantasy move, fueled by this money we are gonna spend, this energy we are going to spend. Then the mutative point is we will convert that A2 Mercury, which is called service. This is a line that projects individual contribution. This is talking, this is Mercury, so it's talking. The natural expression of wanting to guide, help, or contribute to others through one's unique direction. So it projects this quality of contribution, guidance, and service. It's self-expression because it's exalted here, is selfless contribution, guiding others through one's example, and offering direction without attachment to recognition or reward. This is a contribution, stylistic, that must be called out. And this Mercury is converted into, you know what, this Jupiter. So we are down, we testing all the facts, all the details, all the potential expression of our stylistic. I adore this. The contribution will be tested in its all possible variation. This is what we do here. So we have this quality. And the result, the thing that this contribution, this stylistic wants to bring out of us is this Venus. So we will converting the confusion of the 3-1, you know, confusion after action, after this 42, that we just put all the energy to complete the beginnings that we started last week, into this confusion that we are trying to convert, this personal confusion about who we are, what life is, how to make order in life, you know, will be converted into this Venus 12.4. So we will have that quality this week. This is a week about socialization. The 3 days we are trying to structure our stylistic. So we have this clarity that we want to get. Is awaiting for the perfect social moment to express ourselves, to express our stylistic of this 12.4. Now let's go forward, or this video will never end. So you see the line shifts almost immediately after an hour. we get the 3-2. It's exalted, so it's not bad at all. So we are talking about a little different process, you know? So instead of being confused as before, we get immaturity. It's called immaturity, projection of confusion and unstable direction. The tendency to seek guidance externally before developing trust in one's natural process after the emerging from the chaos of putting so much energy. So what is the theme here is confusion, uncertainty, and openness to guidance. So it's self-expression. We get the self-expression is persistence to keep growing to confusion, learning through experience, experimentation, eventually discovering one's order despite external interference, actually welcoming through it, you know. So we will try making order out of our life, convert this order into this Venus here. Let's go forward. So we have this 8-3, you know, this 8-3, this shifts. The team here is no longer testing our resolve, it's no longer about, the team here is no longer projecting that we can contribute. This is a team of trial and erroring. It's called the phony. I love this line. I absolutely adore it. So this is developing the stylistic, its essence. It's through essence, through fire at trial and error. This is the line of adapting user style and persona to make individual contribution that is socially acceptable and relatable. This third line, it sterilizes the trial and error process of this 8 gates, so experimentation with identity and presentation, learning how to connect socially and discovering which forms of expression allow individuality to be accepted by the collective. So we'll be mastering that. Its self-expression is skillfully using style to create connection and accessibility, developing social fluency without sacrificing individuality, and expressing uniqueness, you know, in an attractive form. And its detriment actually is over-identifying with image and persona, you know, the phony, relying on style rather than real substance underneath, believing presentation alone guides recognition or influence. So try avoiding doing this. Try getting the more social, expressive form of your individuality, you know. The tension here is how much of myself must I shape or stylize in order to be accepted by others? So we'll be doing that in this period, which is tomorrow actually, you know. The Venus shifts. So we move from a time of trying to get a perfect moment. We move from it's called the pragmatist. This line's about socially experienced caution, learning how, when, and with whom express ourselves emotionally. So this is very cautious. It's more dense, and it gets all the projection that it has something to share for the individual to experience some sort of emotion via the speech of this gay, you know. So we have this quality. This is very internally, this line is still socially cautious and selective. This one has learned through experience, though. We already tried that, we already did that. Its self-expression is wisdom is gained from the past social experiences, knowing how to engage without losing oneself, understanding timing, mood, and emotional readiness. So it's the great speech maker, you know? And its detriment is becoming overly cautious because of painful past experiences. It's remembering rejection, misunderstanding, or emotional pain too strongly, so withdrawing from opportunities because previous interactions hurt. And the tension is, how do I stay open to meaningful social connection without repeating painful experiences, you know? So this is the quality of this gate. We're gonna try outputting that with the Venus second domicile. So you know, the light shifts around 68 p.m. We get A2 Sun. We move before into the 14. So we will use maybe money in a bit different way. It's called management. It's called management. And this aspect is this line is about projecting personal power and ability to direct resources. Often with the belief that one can manage everything independently. So it has this quality of believing that they can direct energy and resources in order to express their stylistic in this case, because it's the 8-4 that we're managing, which we're gonna get into later. So its self-expression here of this 14 is understanding that true power grows through cooperation, delegation, and investing in the right expertise, while its detriment is insisting on doing everything alone, rejecting guidance or collaboration, and believing that personal willpower is enough to find the correct direction. So this line projects that it has resources that can be guided somewhere. So the tension is, do I trust others to help guide my energy, or do I insist on relying only on myself? There is this gap between projected confidence and being actually ready, you know. So we have this quality, this 14 Earth gets converted into the 41. Sorry, the 41 gets converted into the 14 Earth. So we try making the fantasy out of those resources that we are sort of preparing to express ourselves, but we get the 8-4 detriment here, which is not very nice. So this expression is not going to be the most pleasant. So it's called respect. This line's about recognizing and supporting authentic individual contribution, understanding who truly carries unique direction, and helping that contribution reaches the collective. So the third line has this quality of entering the transpersonal realm. So we will be speaking about how we want to be perceived by the people that we know. So this line recognizes authenticity, creative direction, and the value of people who lead simply by being themselves. But here we get the detriment. So we will try evaluate individuality through logic, status, or comparison, misjudging value based on conventional standards, or becoming frustrated when contribution and stylistic is not recognized. So it's not going to be the most pleasant. I'm probably just going to retreat. How do I contribute authentically without needing external validation or superiority? That's its tension. So we have this quality here. And this thing gets converted to the Jupiter, state Jupiter, getting the details, the science here is very fitting. This is an aesthetic formed through details, through precision. And this A2 has this quality of service of before. It's exalted this time, though. This Sun A2 has this quality of being, has this amazing quality of selfless contribution, guiding others through one's example, offering direction. So it has this quality, Now let's go forward. So we get the 3.3, and the 3.3, it's all about trial and erroring. So we want to get the actual fucking order in our lives, to get this fixed thing, this stable thing, this stable mutation that we got out of what we began before. It's called survival. This line's about surviving the confusion through trial and erroring, discovering what truly works by living through mistakes, mutations, and adaptation order-wise. This is all about talking about order, by the way. It's gate of order. And the first line, or the second, which project or introspect confusion, this one tests life through experience. It tries, it fails, and adapts, Its healthy expression is the instinctive ability to recognize what supports growth and mutation, learning through experience with connection, direction, creations, have true value, which those things can generate actual good order, while its detriment is resistance to mutation, stagnation, or repeating destructive patterns despite experience. So it refuses to change. This is an order that stays fixed and does not adapt. The tension is, am I willing to make mistakes and evolve through them, or do I resist the mutation life is pushing me towards? So this is what we'll be questioning during that period. This Mars gets converted to Venus, this projected capacity to be stimulating socially. Everybody's going to be projected that can socially be stimulant and feel good. But then it shifts, gets a 12 sit. So after doing this projection little period, we get a bit of clarity about socializing. We get a little bit of clarity. Quite nice, actually. It's called metamorphosis. And this line's about culmination of the gate of caution, where individual expression is no longer merely about communication, but about transmitting mutation capable of transforming society itself. So this line here transcends the ordinary interactions and focuses on the one that can change stuff for them, for their lives, for everyone's life, to transform emotional consciousness and possibility of change in the collective human experience through this socialization, those social interactions. It's not concerned with being social accepted or even being understood. This one asks if the expression can truly transform humanity, and this is all through this stylistic. This is the result of our stylistic and contribution. It's the same thing, by the way. Its self-expression is faith in deep social and emotional evolution. The ability to express insights that reshape how people relate and connect to you and everyone, becoming a living example of future emotional consciousness. That's what we're trying to do. Perfect social expression, basically. And its shadow is extreme social withdrawal, resignation towards humanity, believing that transformation is impossible, and remaining permanently detached and uninvolved. The question is this expression truly transformative, this social expression, enough to risk expressing myself, showing myself socially, that aspect. Then we go forward. So we get 8-5. We get another detriment here, not the nicest. This trial and erroring, this forming of our amazing contribution here of this stylistic is not having the nicest experience, the nicest path, This line's about offering the 8-5. It's called Dharma. It's about offering guidance and contribution while understanding that true support includes eventual separation. So this is a line that is seen as a teacher, helper, or somebody who can show the way. This is called the taxi driver. This taxi driver. So you might actually have to do with taxi driver the period. I'd be curious. It's self-expression, which is guiding people. Sorry. And we're going to experience the detriment, which is becoming attached to being needed. So a bit of a clingy mummy type of thing, Struggling when others move on after you help them express, get where they want to go, or try to maintain authority and relevance after a contribution is complete. So we're gonna express this. This is going to be quite dense, actually, not the nicest of experience. And the tension is going to be, can I contribute direction without becoming attached to the people I help? So we'll be getting the details. We'll all be learning about this because this Mercury gets converted into 61, 62. So we get all the details, all the facts, all the trialing, all of this knowledge, quite dense energy. Then it moves into the 8-6. So we get a little clarity after that. We get communion. 8-6 is communion. This is the culmination of the gate of the contribution, where contribution is no longer simply about sharing one's creativity or direction, but about recognizing the precise timing for contribution to create real mutation. This one does not just want to contribute. It focuses more on timing and being ready to transform and guide. Contributing at a wrong time changes nothing. And its self-expression is deep sensitivity to patterns and timing, intuitive recognition of when people are truly receptive, and wisdom to contribute only when mutation is possible. And its detriment is doubting if the timing is ever going to be right. Hesitation or paralysis about contribution. This is not going to be nice. I already know this is not going to be pleasant for me because I'm a third line and I speak until I exhaust my energy, basically. Hesitation or paralysis. Regret after missing opportunities or failing timing. This is not pleasant. This is very intense. Is this contribution truly capable of creating meaningful transformation? That's its tension. To master timing, to express our stylistic, and to guide people. I honestly don't like it. Then we get into the final phase, which is the 8-3 and the 14-3. So the 14-3, it's still money, but it's exalted. So this one is actually quite nice, Quite nice. So it's not going to be much of a struggle. It's called service. This is the trial and erroring of learning when and whom one's power, energy, talent, and resources should be devoted. This one transforms raw power into contribution, The opposition there. Service and experimentation with purpose. Where do we invest our life force to get this contribution now? Our money, our resources. This one tries. We're gonna read the health expression. So this is using one's energy and resources in service of something meaningful. Generosity, devotion to causes, people, or direction that feel valuable. This one wants its power to matter beyond personal gain. This does not want to hold on to its money too much. It wants to get the value of the contribution. I allocate my energy until I find something truly worth. The tension here is, where is the correct place for me to invest my power? This is where we're gonna reach, try to go to. And this one is exalted, so it's good. We have the knowing, the generosity here. There's like the generosity might happen. Some charities might happen around that time, like some global charities. I don't know. We got the 8-3, the phony. This is where we are going to end. This 3-day cycle is about getting phony, which is funny to say. I love saying that. So we will be forming our phoniness, our aesthetics. This is why the phone is all about the aesthetic, even more than the other lines. We will be trying to get there, mastering this social experimentation, presentation, and identity. And the 8-6 is there. Everything is there, Everything leads up to getting this. And then we get another line shift, which is the 12, 20, get into the 20. So we move from social, trying to mutate sociality to the awareness of The 20, this existential gate here, deep existential gate of knowing oneself in the present moment. This line's about the foundational awareness of living completely in the present moment, appearing casual, surface level externally, while internally remaining deeply alert to what's happening. So it puts up this facade, but it tries to express its awareness of the present moment. It establishes the base nature of the now. We will get into this. So, you're just not concerned with analysis, depth, or abstract meaning, but very instinctual awareness. And self-expression is effortless awareness of the environment. Light, simple, socially fluid expression, and stay relaxed yet alert. Its detriment is its shadow expression is appearing shallow, disconnected, or overly surface-oriented, expressing only outer personality and being underestimated because of one's casual demeanor. The tension here is how do I need to engage? How deeply do I need to engage versus simply remain aware in the now? This is the quality, It wants to be aware here. To express this phony, we convert this awareness in the now, this data we get from the present moment. There's a bit of superficiality into this Jupiter to get this expression here. It's been going to be trial and error with that very tense day. This Venus shifts. It goes out. It's no longer about socialization. It's no longer about attracting socialization at the perfect exact moment to create a mutation. This is a Venus that does something else called duty. It's here in the 15. Goes out of Gemini, gets into Venus, into Cancer. This is Cancer, 15 gate. Sorry, this is wrong. So it goes there, it goes to the 15-1, which is duty. This is the line of the foundational acceptance of one true natural extremes and rhythms leading to live authentically without forcing oneself to fit normal expectations. The first line here establishes this essence of the gate of extremes, of one's natural rhythms. After this socialization, we get the awareness of those rhythms. And we get into its self-expression, finding harmonious relationships that will support one's natural rhythm. So everybody's going to be a bit crazy with their rhythms, Maybe sleeping late, that sort of stuff. Accepting both inner intensity and variability, and living authentically without needing to justify one's difference. So these people have all the craziest sort of rhythms in the timing they do shit, The tension here is how do I remain true to my natural rhythm without being isolated from others? Because it's deeply internal, trying to understand one's extremes and that sort of stuff. To express oneself through one's rhythm, not just aesthetics. This is going to go a bit beyond that, it goes through rhythm. Then we go beyond, we have 3-4 detriment. So we get to another different thing, Mars. Charisma, called charisma. So we get out of the confusion here. This one externalizes confusion in a magnetic way, attracting guidance, support, and direction from others through the very expression of not knowing. So we move straight to this inner confusion, into interaction with others after having tested the confusion. This one projects a bit of confusion. And it's detrimented, so it's not going to be nice. The shadow expression is being stubbornly identified with confusion itself, rejecting guidance without, even while asking for it, becoming stubbornly identified with confusion itself, rejecting guidance even while asking for it, or frustrating others by remaining trapped in indecision and self-involvement. So we'll project this confusion, we'll put our energy, we maybe have fights, because Mars also is where we have fights with people, And we will have this tension of allowing others to guide us through confusion without resisting or clinging to confusion as an identity. And this one's a four light, so mutation and growth does not happen alone. This order we're trying to establish does not happen alone. And this gets converted to a rhythm. So then we have this confusion that produces those rhythms. Then we have the last shift here. We have the 20.2. Which is a bit different, Dogmatist, called the dogmatist. So this is quite this projects a narrow projection of awareness in the present moment, expressing certainty about what is true in the now, even though the perspective is limited. So people will project, will communicate, this Mercury, they will communicate this narrow awareness of the present moment. Its self-expression is a focused and disciplined awareness comfortable staying within a limited but clear perspective, and allowing precise guidance and concentrating understanding. So this can become a gift for leading others along a specific path, because it knows the present moment. While a shadow is rigid dogmatism, trying to impose a narrow view on others. This is very, very narrow awareness of the present moment. And rejecting perspectives outside your individual awareness. This can create the attitude of my way or the highway. And the tension is, can I express what I see in the now without being trapped in certainty or narrowness, This is the quality of it. And then we can move forward, and you will see that nothing really shifts here. Around 6:04 a.m., around 6:40, it's the shift. So this is where we're gonna end it. I'm gonna summarize up to you. We will trial and error, try forming our personal expression of ourselves, our personal stylistic, not in terms of knowledge, but in terms of stylistic, to get our identity out, ourself, our true selves out, not in terms of knowledge though. And we will spend some money into it. The fantasy will fuel the spending of money. The Jupiter, the Mercury here, which was 8 before, so we were talking about the expression itself, the communicating of the potential expression itself into the testing all the potential possibilities of such expression of ourselves, all the details that we can get. Like, how do I get this shirt, this color, this palette, all this sort of stuff, I make an example. And the result is all this videos process the tree stays for a while, so we get confusion. We try forcing this confusion into first social expression. We need to complete the social expression of before, so that then we can move on to this awareness of our rhythms and trusting and being with the people that trust our rhythms and do not break them. So hopefully this was interesting. This is my transit for this period of time. You guys see in the description. So see you next time.